Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast. You know, that place where we like to play games, be better, and just have some fun, good times, and spread some positivity. I am one of your hosts tonight. Everyone calls me PC Muscle Race, better known as LeRon Dawkins here from the Boss Rush Network, also via Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. And with me tonight is our editor extraordinaire, Miss Stephanie Klimoff. What's up?
Hello. Way to bring the energy.
I'm trying. It's a Wednesday evening, and I've had a busy day. But hold on, because we've actually got a guest here tonight with us. You guys might know him if you check out anything from the website from our writing team. This man basically puts in some work. Everybody, welcome Mark. What is it, Pereira?
Pereira, that's right.
Okay, I had to make sure that Ian and I throws it off.
Yeah. As you were getting ready to say my name, I was like, "Oh, we didn't talk about this ahead of time." I probably should have told him, and you said it.
Actually, I'm one of those people. I have a rather like funky looking name. I don't know. It's not that funky on paper, but apparently, like, people bastardize my name a lot. So I've gone through life trying to make sure I don't like jack up people's names.
Yeah.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. It's been a long week.
Oh, yeah. And it's only Wednesday.
It's only Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you guys are wondering, Corey has a night off. He had way too much fun with us at Crossroads last night. So yes.
Nah, he just has a man cold.
The man flu. See, I wasn't trying to put him out there like that.
What's a man
Hear
cold?
that, Corey? A man cold? I don't know. You get a little sneeze, a little cough, and it's the end of the world.
It's the end of the freaking world. Yes, trust me.
So, no, it's all right. He's going through that stage where his kids are probably bringing continuous germs of all types, like on a regular basis.
No, I told him the other day because he mentioned something, and I told him the other day that because he said everybody in the house is sick right now, like wife, the kids, and everything, and I was like, you're next. And he's like, no. I'm like, no, you're next. that's how it be. Yeah. So was it just a disastrous week so far?
So for me, it's just a lot of things like work. We went back to the office, more of a welcome day for the first time today.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a small segment of the entire company. So it was, not a lot of us, but, it's adjusting. It was great to see everyone, honestly, and I did enjoy it. It just, that and it just works. It's just a lot's happening. And I said it a couple times. I decided to participate in that National Novel Writing Month this November, but I think this might be the first year I'm not going to make it to 50,000 words.
Like, oh no!
How much work has gotten so busy? I can't even keep up with my Boss Rush, writing and stuff, which makes me very sad. How about you guys?
My wife and I are going out of town tomorrow.
Anything exciting?
We're going to DC for a friend's wedding. And we're going without the kids, and so it feels like it's supposed to be a short work week, and like we're going on a trip tomorrow, and it's been so long, and there's so much still left to do before I can get on a plane and leave, and so it's just been
I know that feeling.
a long week.
Yeah, actually,
I think you should.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're
I was
good.
going to say you should hit up Dan later there, because I think Dan lives in that area.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
So,
He lives
tell you guys all the. Is it DC?
He lives outside of Annapolis.
Oh. All right, never mind. Anyway, what's up, LeRon?
It's a nice slot for the 5 seconds while it lasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just up this weekend up in Northern Virginia for work, right out of DC. Yeah. Yeah. So I was up there for a day and a half.
Yeah, we're going Thursday through Sunday. No kids, and so I'm just excited to sleep and just not work and not. I mean, I love my kids very, very much, but I'm just excited to
Sure.
have some free time, So I'm looking forward to it.
When was the last time you guys were kidless? Well, you know what I mean. Like, just took a.
Yikes.
All right,
We've done.
that's every.
No, we've done something recently. We did something. I don't know. I can't tell you.
All right. Well, cherish every moment.
Yes, we're very excited. It seems quite daunting to get to this point because there's a lot of work to do. But fortunately, my wife's parents live right down the street, and so they're going to come over and watch the kids, and so it's the kids will be taken care of, and then we'll have a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like work's been I just been going through the messages of work and everything. Like I was telling Stephanie earlier, like freaking Crossroads is late to hit YouTube tonight. It's been a busy day.
I know. Is it just this time of year? I don't know about you guys, but it's just right before the holidays kick up. I feel like I don't know. Everything just builds up. Anyway, I'm starting to complain like an old person.
No. You don't sound anything like an old person because I do it too. This that time of year. I hate to say this, and I think it's because I got beat down by all the years I worked in retail. There's that time of year where I actually cannot get in the spirit. I can't. It's just hard for me. And I know it sounds very mean spirited and stuff, but geez, like I've seen some things. Let's put it that way.
Retail is what turns many of us into Grinches. I feel similarly. I just had this. No, Christmas is still, for example, my favorite holiday, but that spirit, like that light, that fire is snuffed out. I'm just an empty shell every year.
Mm-hmm.
I do it for my son. There you go. And the whole Santa thing.
That's what my mom tells me. My mom says once I have kids, like I'm 46 years old now, like once I have kids though, it'll turn around for me. And I'm like, I'll take your word for it because like right now, like I hate this time of year. Like it's the time of year where everybody wants you to eat everything, The sun goes down way too goddamn early.
Yes.
What else? It's cold, so it starts getting cold, and I'm one of those people I already don't like running, but I know I have to run to help with cater to the weight loss, and I'm running out there in the cold. No. It's that miserable time of year. I'm gonna have to be stuck in the garage jumping rope or something because I'm not running.
Are you gonna still be able to wear sleeveless shirts during the winter, LeRon?
That's an excellent question.
Believe it or not, my room that I stream in stays hot. Like I have a fan blowing on me right now, and I'm still gonna wind up like with my shorts stuck to my legs by the time it's all over.
Okay, so your fans will not be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I just gotta buy.
Gotta give them what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. I just gotta buy new tank tops because I'm running really. Everybody's seen everything that I have as far as tank tops and muscle shirts, so I gotta update the wardrobe.
I bet they have ugly Christmas sweater tank tops, and if they don't, there's $1 million idea, my friends.
Oh,
there you go. Patent it.
That's right.
Jump on that right now.
That's right.
I can see it right now. It's all the gym bro like quotes and sayings just on ugly Christmas sweaters. Like like this like the sweater had sleeves, but I flexed. Shit like that.
Right.
So, other than work being busy and I guess and Mark, you going on like a little mini vacation, have any of you guys been able to have time to play video games? Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't played this week. Like disappointingly, I was that full up with time. And
well, you know what? Hold that thought because let's do housekeeping real fast, and then we can segue right into what have we been doing. No, you're good.
Sorry,
you're good. No, Corey's not here. It throws off the whole vibe. That's all. All right. All right. For everybody out there, this is the Boss Rush Podcast, the flagship show of Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we get together with our friends from around the internet to talk about gaming culture and everything we love about it. You can catch the Boss Rush Podcast every Wednesday night live on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Network or on YouTube and podcast services every Monday morning. Follow us on all social media at Boss Rush Network. Join our Discord and our Face group, and find all of our shows and content on our wonderful website, bossrush.net. All right, now let's
Did you
go.
say face group?
Did I say face? I thought I said Facebook group.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Hey, maybe I did.
Group now?
Maybe. Wait, has Facebook rebranded yet, or when did they go live with that Meta, or is Meta a separate thing?
No, I think they're changing it to everything to Meta.
They're changing everything to Meta. They're not going to be able to shake the stink of like what Facebook has become, though. They're not going to be able to shake that off, though.
No.
I've been telling people for years, like number one, I got a Facebook story. I was one of those big MySpace guys, right? So when MySpace like fell off the edge of a cliff and everything, right? I was like, you know what, that was fun. I've had my fill. Snapchat was kind of burgeoning out there, but it wasn't the thing yet, and it definitely wasn't the thing that Snapchat became that made it so popular. But but I was like, you know what, I don't need to do this anymore. It was cool, like. And my sister had just gotten commissioned in the Army as a second lieutenant, and she was getting ready to go to her first duty assignment, which if I'm not mistaken was somewhere out in Texas. I can't remember for sure, but she was saying how get on Facebook. I'm like, nah, I've already done something similar to that. I was on MySpace for like forever, and she's like, well, this is how we keep in touch with the family and everything like that. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I wound up using Facebook more than she ever did. Like it was to the point where my mom was like, yo, you need to chill. Like she was like, you're putting way too much stuff out there. And so ultimately I have like this giant digital footprint. And this is back when Facebook was just basically MySpace 2.0 and everything, right? So like I was doing the thing. I was doing basically live journaling. I was putting all this bullshit up and everything. And eventually, when I landed this job that I'm at now, the IT company I'm working with, because I've always been like an open book, like like the one thing I believe that Facebook, MySpace, and all these social media apps had going on when they first started out is it was a way for you to connect with people, share things about your life and stuff like that, and conversate, like basically. I feel like all these social media, I feel like all the main social media platforms that we know about, their whole thing was connectivity. I feel like in this day and age, though, video games does it way better now. But it was about connectivity and stuff like that. I believe that was the mission statement for everything. If it wasn't a spoken mission statement, I believe that's what it was before all these platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just became their own like devil with two heads, But yeah, so basically I treated Facebook like MySpace. So, like I put all my not all my personal stuff, but you know what I mean? Like if I had thoughts and opinions or, something wacky or crazy happened to me or I was sad or upset and stuff like that, it all went on my Facebook page. So I start working this job and I'm an open person, if it's something that I feel like people in my life should know, I put it out there and stuff like that. So, I made the cardinal sin of allowing work contacts, to friend you on Facebook. Yeah. So eventually what happened is, like I'm just going about doing my thing, you guys know me for the most part. I'm not some rude, crazy, like crass, offensive person and stuff like that. Like if I have an opinion, I'll go ahead and say it, but I try not to hurt people's feelings. Well, eventually what started happening is like, some of these professional contacts I had started getting really upset and offended by things I was saying, like I was too politically woke for them, or, like I was fighting for social justice way too much and things like that. It was an eye opener because, one time, because my boss, we have a wonderful working relationship where we're basically like best friends, even though he signs my paychecks, stuff like that, but we have a very good and open, like, working business relationship, stuff like that. He called me one night. I want to say it was like a little bit after 10 o'clock at night. And he was like, hey, he's like, are you home? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I come talk to you? And I was like, sure. I didn't think it was,
Wow.
I didn't think it was work related. I just thought it was, he was just out and he just wanted to like, just like bounce something off me and whatnot. Come to find out that, apparently he had been out to dinner with a couple of clients, and these are clients who were friends of my Facebook. And, I remember this well. This is after the midterms. So it's Obama's second term, the midterms for that. And this is back when the governor's race is a big deal because like they're always fucking with abortion rights for some strange reason. They're always doing it. But that year it was crucial because if the governorship was flipped, more red than blue, like it was going to just open the floodgates up for people to start fucking with Roe versus Wade and all and women's rights and all that stuff. So I've been watching it closely, and in my state, Virginia, we voted blue all the way. As a matter of fact, like our entire state color was blue. Like from like that the House, the House, the Senate, and everything, the governorship, and all that stuff. It was completely blue that term. And I remember putting out there, because I was watching the elections closely that night. As soon as it got confirmed that Virginia was the state that was going to keep everything like balanced, I put up there on Facebook. I was like, with Virginia securing the governorship for Democrats, we don't have to worry about women's rights, gay rights, and all this stuff being messed with, this time around and stuff like that. My thoughts and prayers go out to all the Republicans and stuff that thought they had this. That was all I said, and I didn't think anything else of it. And that was like a week or so later, my boss is coming, asking to come to my apartment to talk to me and stuff like that. And he's like, hey, he's like, I just had dinner with these people, and they mentioned something about your Facebook. And as soon as he said that, I immediately you immediately start doing that, that rundown. Did I piss somebody off? Did I say something I shouldn't have said? Did I get into an argument? Because I used to get into arguments on Facebook all the time with people, but I couldn't think of anything. And he was like, I can't remember what he said, but he was like, something you said like really upset some people who were who watch politics a lot closely. And I was like, okay, chances are, they probably did see something that I said. And so he was like, yeah, like, so I was having dinner with them, and they're like, LeRon's a nice guy and he does work, but I don't think I like him that much.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, okay, like what? I'm like, what exactly did I say? So he was basically like, let's pull up your Facebook and let's take a look. And I was looking through some stuff, and finally we get to the point where I was talking about how Virginia won the governor's race, and I see a comment under it. From somebody I knew, from somebody from work that I knew well. As a matter of fact, I believe I had a wonderful working relationship with her. She was one of our clients and stuff, and I think she's one of the best people out there, despite her political alignment and stuff like that. I looked through the post, I looked through some comments. There was a lot of like thumbs up, smiley faces and stuff. People were agreeing with and stuff like that. And then there's this one comment. It's like, oh, that's good if you like killing babies. I saw the name, and I was like, okay, I know exactly who this is. I know, yeah. And I was like, is it this? And he looked at it and he read it. And then he looked at me for a second and he was like, okay, this is a little off the wall here. But and then I wound up getting a conversation about how people knowing your political alignments in a professional world, isn't always the best thing. Like it's one thing if they guess that you're like a liberal or a progressive or whatnot, but it's another thing when you prove it to them and stuff like that. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, you've known me for years, man. I don't sit on the wrong side of justice well. I don't. And I'm sorry. Like if I have to, I will go apologize to this person. He's like, no, you don't do that. He's like, don't do that. So basically, that was my lesson right there, and that's when I started. That's when I started not fucking with Facebook anymore. And also the fact, like by that point, I was also starting to learn how Facebook was like just handling our personal information and all that stuff. And I tell people every day, like whenever they have a conversation with me about Facebook, I'm like, Facebook is insidious. Like they mishandle our information and stuff like that. So like when Elizabeth Warren is taking them to task and stuff like that, and when we have whistleblowers telling everybody about what Facebook is doing and not doing and stuff like that for our elections, for gun control and stuff like that, I'm just like, what's that meme where it's like that lady's in bed and she's got her phone and like the lights on her and she's got that face like, yes. I'm like that now. I'm like, so when people turn around and tell me like, hey, like I sent you a message on Facebook, I was like, man, you might as well send me an email, because like I am not going to see anything on Facebook unless I actually turn Facebook on that particular time of the year. So yeah, there's my Facebook story. Yeah, like Facebook got me in trouble with my job, and the sad part is not like I was engaging in frat boy behavior, nothing like that. I was being a social justice warrior. So I was like, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And I see that Legend of Zelda Game & Watch behind you, Stephanie. I see it.
I love that thing.
Yeah,
Max got it too.
It's cool as hell, but I do not like that. I don't know. That green is too viscous. If that makes any sense, like that green is too much. I know it's actually Link's colors, like the green and gold. But man, like when I saw the actual like when I saw it with my own two eyes, I was like, ooh, that's too much green.
Listen, I'm not.
I know.
I didn't get the Mario one, even though I love Mario games, but for some reason I needed to get this one, and I got it, and I don't love the original Zelda game. But I do love Link's Awakening. But the screen on this thing is insane. Like it's blowing my mind how crisp and clean, and I mean it is an insane piece of hardware, and it was $50. Like it's crazy to me.
Yeah, the screen on the Super Mario one was amazing.
Yeah, and so I have it here on my desk as a clock. I mean, I play on it too, but I have the clock set up and I have it plugged in, and it's
I use usually for the clock purposes. I just like seeing the game in the background, and also that pleasant like tick tick, and then at the top of the hour it has that unlocking a door sound that like it just it brings that Pavlov's dog. It just like
that's cool. I like that. Because we had a conversation a while back on Buster's podcast about like how like Legend of Zelda got dark. Like especially like I didn't realize like Legend of Zelda was about it like that. So I was playing Wind Waker, and Link got that kill shot on Ganon, and then I come to find out it's the first time he's got that specific kill shot. But I was watching someone do a speed run, and I completely forgotten that when you kill Ganon in Legend of Zelda, he turns to a pile of ash, and the Triforce is laying on the ash. And I was like, wait a second, this is an NES game. This is my childhood. Oh man. So Zelda's always been dark. I just didn't realize it.
That's right.
Okay, but now
while LeRon's cheating, but I will say this: bring back MySpace. No, I'm just kidding. Let's not. But I don't know those days.
I mean, Tom still needs friends.
Yeah, he does. You guys can be in my top 8.
Oh God! Remember the battles?
It was 9, right?
Yeah, well, no, they
Maybe,
turned
yeah.
they turned it into 9. They turned it into 9 because man, there were so many battles about being in the top 8. Oh my God, social media.
Mm.
You know, it has its uses, but like I said, like I don't know, like what's the main platform you guys use? Because I know for sure it's Twitter. It's Twitter and then Instagram for me.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram for me.
Mm-hmm.
Technically still Facebook, and I know that's for old people now because I've had many teenagers tell me that Facebook's for old people. I lean a little bit more towards Instagram and Twitter nowadays. Like Twitter is really more for my author account, so to speak. So if I'm promoting my book or whatever, so I guess it depends. But unfortunately, yeah, I still rely on Facebook. I'm partially ashamed by that because there's a lot of things about Facebook that I just obviously don't like anymore. But I honestly just like putting my quotes of my son on there and upload pictures, and then I just log off.
Yeah, if you don't spend time on Facebook, it's actually quite nice. Like if you don't dig into what people are saying, and if you just kind of skim the surface and then disappear, Facebook's
I don't
nice.
bother scrolling. I don't want to see people's conspiracy theories. I don't do that.
That's the other thing too. That's the other thing too, because my mom used to get on me all the time talking about stop putting everything on Facebook. And then I wound up catching her like sharing and liking some of the most off the wall stuff. So I had to turn around and give her the phone call and be like, Mom, I was like, number one, that thing you shared, that's false. That's false and bad information. Here's why it's false and bad information. And I actually did the thing that people are supposed to do, but pisses everybody else off when they do it. I correct the bad stuff, and I let people know, like, hey, like this is not what's up, so stop doing it. But yeah, so it sometimes it feels good to scold your parents, and sometimes it feels like, oh man, I'm being a dick right now.
Oh, I try to tell my dad not to get into these political arguments on Facebook. Like I will see him just typing furiously on his phone. Like every time I'm hanging out with him, I'm like, Dad, can you please stop? You're arguing with strangers that you'll never meet, and nor does it matter what you're saying or what he or they are saying. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oy.
All right, enough about freaking Facebook. What have we been playing? What have we been doing this week?
I'll start. I played nothing.
Ooh.
Okay, so what have you been watching, or what have you been doing with yourself this past week?
I watched Shang-Chi.
I saw your tweet about that.
I finally saw it. Like I wanted to see it when it first came out in movie theaters, but like either no one was available to see it with me, and I felt weird going by myself. So I love it. It skyrocketed to like one of my top MCU movies. I talked to LeRon about it a little bit before we went live, and I'll keep this brief, but I just love the representation. I'm biased because I'm part Chinese, but I just also appreciate how well they did it. It wasn't pandering. The supposed bad guy, I'm not going to reveal anything if people haven't seen it, like wasn't your stereotypical bad guy with bad guy motives. Like I feel like there's just, it was very well done. I loved it. Very well done. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters, and I didn't love it the first time I saw it, but I just saw it again with my wife. She didn't go see it in theaters, and so I watched it again. And once I had, and I'm like this a lot, I feel like with movies. Once I get over my first initial whatever, once I see it again and I give it another chance, I typically like it a lot more than I did the first time. I loved it the second time. I thought it was fantastic. I thought, honestly, the reason why I didn't like it the first time was my ignorance of Chinese mythology. And so it takes a hard left turn about halfway through the movie, and it dives deep into Chinese mythology, and I don't know anything about Chinese mythology. And so for someone not knowing any of that, you're like, what is happening? This is so bizarre. What am I watching? But then after a little bit of research and watching it again, like it seems very authentic. It seems, the fight scenes are incredible. Learning a little bit more about the lead actor, I really like him and his story. And I loved it the second time. I'm a huge fan now.
I think you have a very valid initial reaction, I'm not sure if it would work, but it would have been cool. I mean, maybe if somehow they found a way to explain some of the mythology there, because it's kind of true.
Sure.
Like, think of all the cultural mythologies, and this is me as a Chinese American saying it. Our mythology is kind of like at the bottom, is like compared to like Egyptian mythology and Norse mythology. People are like, what is that weird dragon horse thing or whatever?
Right,
what is that?
Right. Yeah, and when I was watching with my wife, there's one part, like I said, it takes a hard left turn into Chinese mythology, and my wife was like, when we were watching, she's like, okay, this is getting kind of silly, and I was like, it's actually Chinese mythology. Like there's a reason for it. When like if it was Greek mythology and you have a Pegasus. Imagine watching a movie and then there's a horse with wings and you don't know anything about Greek mythology. That would be bizarre and silly, and a term you didn't think the movie was going to make. But if you knew about Greek mythology, it would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, okay." And then I kind of get that. So I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the uncool guy here, and I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet.
But you will.
I'm planning on it. The main reason why is because I'm still freaking like COVID shy when it comes to movie theaters, and I'm like, man, like it's gonna be like sardines in a can, you know, like I'm gonna wind up in that one theater that, you know, like when I go to pick my tickets, you know, like there's nobody in the auditorium, but when I actually get to the movie theater, all of a sudden it's like packed, and it's like, what the fuck? So I understand. Yeah, so that's it. But my boyfriend's been going to movies now, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of you leaving my ass behind. So let's start going to the movies. So yeah, I haven't seen Shang-Chi nor the Eternals yet, and I'm not going to see Eternals, so I see Shang-Chi. So it looks like I have a few things to do this weekend.
Yeah, get on it. But yeah, that's kind of it. So that was like my big thing that I saw. I had my birthday weekend this past weekend. I went to the Encore, which is a relatively new casino in Massachusetts. Because as much as we are a liberal state, we're very like super strict with like so many things, like historically, like with prohibition and casinos and stuff like that. But anyway, I lost a couple $100 when I was playing roulette and blackjack, and I was like, crap, I'm just going to go to the bar and have a drink. And then my friend taught me craps. Never played it before. I made all my money back and I broke even.
Oh, nice.
That is a win.
That is a win. Yes.
What's your favorite I guess billiards or gambling game? What's your favorite?
So my favorite, just to enjoy and have fun, is actually Texas Hold'em.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost never play that when I'm in a casino because you have to like constantly put down money per turn. So ultimately, one turn can almost cost you like $100. And I don't have the funds for that.
Yeah.
So normally I just go to, if it's at a casino, I'll just play blackjack because I'll just pick a $5 or $10 minimum table and just kind of enjoy the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've learned craps, I kind of like that. I roll the dice.
Yeah.
You got a good table. You know, it's good times.
Yeah, I'm a blackjack person. There's something exciting about like knowing, like, you know, at most like there's only gonna be so many cards on the table. Yep. All right. So anything else exciting going on in your world, Steph?
Oh, that's about it. Hopefully, I'll have more to report next week.
All right, Mark, you're up.
I played a little bit of the Halo multiplayer this week. I'm not a huge Halo fan.
Uh-huh.
I'm horrible at first-person shooters, and so, but I played the like tutorial sections of the game and had some fun with it. So I enjoyed that. I've been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 5. That game is insane. That game is so much fun. It is so much fun. Listen, if we could just talk Game Pass for a second. Game Pass has, I have played so many games that I would never, ever, ever, ever buy, and loved them. And so, Forza Horizon 5 is one of those. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, I've been playing that, which has been super fun. I mean, that game is
Oh my God,
Really
you guys have basically sold me on Guardians of the Galaxy. As soon as I see it on sale for Black Friday, I'm getting it. Like,
it shouldn't work. I don't love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that they're like from the movie perspective, I think that they're perfectly fine. I'm not as crazy about them as everyone is. Um, but something about it's really smartly written. It's really like the mechanics are really fun. I'm having a ton of fun with the game. It's really fun.
yeah. Between Stephanie, between Corey, and you're mentioning it now, I'm like, God, just gonna get the damn game. Um, uh, yeah. Was that everything? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would say real quick though, Mark, like I'm not, speaking of the Game Pass and stuff, like I'm not a big racing gamer, nor am I a big first person shooter gamer kind of, but like the fact that Game Pass exists, like I might as well just, download Forza and give it a shot. I mean,
Why not?
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gorgeous, and
That's honestly that's the joy.
It's a lot more narrative driven than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, at least I've played it for maybe an hour tops, so at least the first hour is. But when it comes to racing games, I like Mario Kart. It's more fun. I understand it. I don't have to like drive the car.
Thou shalt not bring up Mario Kart in front of LeRon.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
on the
What's wrong with Mario Kart? I feel like that should be a disclaimer before I come on this podcast, because I would have said no if I couldn't bring it up.
No. You can talk about Mario Kart. You can talk about Mario Party. Yeah.
Mario Kart is one of the greatest games of all time.
LeRon has been known to say, "quote I wish Mario Kart could die in a
fire, a cataclysmic fire." Yeah, I all the years that I've been acquainted with Mario Kart and Mario Party, for the most part, like it's never been a fun time for me. And I'm probably the person to start that meme about Mario Kart and Mario Party ending friendships, because I swear to, when Rainbow Road appeared in the Mario Kart games, I was done. I played a few times. I was done.
Hey, LeRon, in the new Mario Kart Deluxe, they have bumpers on the levels if you need help.
Oh my God!
So you can play it and not worry about falling off.
Am I being trolled right now?
Yes. Very much so.
Oh my God! Yeah. No. I'm also known as the Nintendo villain on the Boss Rush podcast.
I gotta go. I'm on the wrong podcast.
It's okay, Mark. I'm on your side.
Thank you.
It's cool though. No, my thing about Mario Kart and Mario Party. Well, I enjoyed because. I didn't just go buy the damn Mario Party game, not the one that just came out, but the first one on the Switch. Like, that's the first Mario Party game that I've actually enjoyed and had fun playing. Like, and it's not even because like whenever I turn around and say something about these games, like, oh, I hate them, it's like, oh, it's just because you lose all the time. It's like I enjoy that Mario Party on the Switch. Whether I win or I lose, there's just something about that. All of a sudden, it's fun. I don't understand it, but yeah, you take me back to the GameCube Mario Party. Like, we gonna fight.
Well,
side tangent.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
It is what it is. I also have been playing Forza Horizon 5. It's funny because last night on Crossroads, the entire episode was basically dedicated to like the first year birthday of the PlayStation 5, and we talked about so many other things around PlayStation. Like, we talked about Game Pass, we talked about Forza Horizon, of course we talked about Nintendo, and but yeah, like. I haven't had this much fun with racing games since Burnout Paradise. Like, it is freaking fantastic. And I mean, like I liked everything from the soundtrack to the way they set you up and stuff like that, because that opening for the game, right, dropping you out of the back of a cargo plane, and so like that was some exciting stuff. I haven't had a rush like that in a while with a racing game, because like racing games, you get to a certain point in racing games where it's like, if racing games aren't your thing, they just get boring fast, but I told the guys last night that right now, like, I haven't bought my fourth vehicle yet, because I just don't know I just don't want to stop driving the Supra right now. Yeah. So I mean, Game Pass has been nice. I can't speak nothing bad about Game Pass. I do sometimes I do wonder if this sales model is sustainable for them, but like I know to a certain extent it is, because like people, like I don't play that many games off of Game Pass. I play the games that catch my eye, and that's about it. But I do know there's some people out there, they play everything under the sun under Game Pass, because some people just like saying they've tried these games out and stuff like that. But I know for sure, as other people that have Game Pass, they probably play one game every 6 months off of it. But they have the subscription. And I wonder about that sales model sometimes, but
They just came out today and said it's fully sustainable, and I mean they keep on talking about it like they're making money off of it, which I don't understand how. But
yeah,
I love Game Pass. It's helped me feel like I can stay part of the conversation.
Yeah,
and not just talk about the things that I love, which is, I obviously am a huge Nintendo fan, and I really like PlayStation. Xbox is not really my thing, but I've been able to play games that I would never play, and be able to I can talk about Halo 6 if I want to, or Forza, or Psychonauts, or Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is also an insane game. So yeah, I mean it's a huge. I love it, just to even dabble and stay relevant.
Maybe they're kind of like how buffets are. They're just really hoping that they'll make money off the people that can only eat one plate. But then you get a couple people that'll just eat like six plates.
That bring down the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
All right, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm just biding my time. Like the new the new season for Star Trek Discovery comes on tonight. But I'm not that big of a Trekkie that I'm going to stay up tonight and watch it. I'm just going to get up very early in the morning and watch it. Yeah. So I'm just biding the time, and of course I'm waiting for Hawkeye. I'm waiting for that series. Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Now you know what sometimes I wish, with the way Disney Plus has been doing their series are very limited run series. Like I mean, like Loki was 6 episodes. Like it looks like
That's
Hawkeye.
right.
It looks like Hawkeye is set to be 6 episodes. WandaVision was 9 episodes. Falcon and Winter Soldier was it 5?
Yeah, if you think of every Marvel Disney Plus show as 2 Marvel movies, that's how they kind of break it up, right? So if they're an hour episode, if they're an hour long episode, then it's going to be 6 episodes, because that's 6 hours. That's roughly 2 movies, right?
Yeah.
If they're half an hour episodes like WandaVision, then they're going to be 9 or 10, because then that's a roughly 6-hour movie. So that's
I never thought of it like that. Thanks for enlightening me like that. I never thought of it like that.
Box Rush Entertainment. That's what I'm here for.
Resident expert.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, for real though. So like, I'm really amped for Hawkeye. Like, I mean, honestly, I've always liked the Hawkeye character. It's I mean, the Hawkeye character in the MCU, because I'm not really a fan of him in the comics per se. I mean, like, he's cool and everything, but I feel like there's other like baseline guys that are cooler than Hawkeye. But something about Hawkeye in the MCU it's his running joke that he has no powers. Like it's his own inside joke, and it's always like an inside joke that he's like the older guy on the block and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's hilarious. Like I remember in Civil War, when he was trying to break Wanda out of the Avengers complex, and Vision started like roughing him up, and then he picks himself off the ground. He's like, I knew I should have stretched.
Yes.
Stuff like that, that's kind of, and I like that Jeremy Renner can pull that off because like before, I feel like before he got picked for that part, he wasn't playing like comedic roles like that. But I feel like after he got Hawkeye, like then he was like getting like these really like funny man like gigs like he was in Tag. That movie was hilarious.
Yeah.
And there were some other ones. I was like, man, like the dude's actually got a little bit of range to him, yeah. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm pumped for Hawkeye. And there's some rumors about that show, and if they pan out, whoo, it's gonna be really good.
I have not been seeing. I have not. Honestly, like I get to a certain point, like when the first trailers and stuff come out for things, like I'm in there. But once we get close to like the actual like premiere dates and stuff like that, I stop messing around with trailers. I stop looking at information about it because I don't want spoilers at that point.
I tell myself every time that I'm going to be like that, like I'm just going to watch the first trailer and then go in blind, and then I'm up at 2:00 in the morning, like looking at. I can't.
Oh my god! Like right now, like I said, I'm waiting for season 4 of Star Trek Discovery to start, and I mean, like it seems like every day there's something new on my feed about like what's going on in Star Trek, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Well, that was a good segment. It's cool. So I guess now's the time that we talk about we bring our big topics to the floor. And you know what? I will be the first. I'll be the first person to fall on the sword tonight. So here's my talking topic for the night. What is, and this is going to be like a long form question, basically. What is one thing about the video games industry that you dislike, and how would you change it? And when I say the industry, I don't just mean gaming. It could be like many facets. Like for example, like we've got companies like Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft that have sexual harassment and BS going on. We've got companies that have diversity problems. Like shoot, EA is always killing us with microtransactions and like like Rockstar like just released a terrible like port of like every Grand Theft Auto game that was popular to like kids growing up. So yeah, it doesn't have to be like anything like negative or bad or anything like this that's popular right now. Like what's one thing in the gaming industry that aggravates you or that you feel like could be changed? Like I will say this, and this might come off as negative, but I feel like one thing that that really aggravates and upsets me about the gaming industry sometimes is the fact that the developers and publishers don't trust like the audience feedback. And when I say the audience feedback, I don't mean the people who just want more and more shovelware, like like the 70 million Assassin's Creed or whatnot, stuff like that. When we see things that are going on in a game or a gaming franchise, and we actually give like constructive criticism, like it sucks that they put out the next sequel and it's got the exact same stuff going on in it that we were like, hey, don't do that anymore, and stuff like that. I know sometimes gaming development cycles, like it takes not the immediate sequel, but the next game after that sequel to start addressing those problems because they're already in the middle of developing the other game by the time we start, like just saying, hey, like you can do this better or this can happen. But honestly, I just feel like, like they don't trust gamers. And then again, we're all writers here at Boss Rush. We also don't trust gamers. Because we see some of the stuff that gets put out there when we talk about things, in gaming. It's like, did you really pay attention to the article, or you just came here to like just be just go into an echo chamber or whatnot? But yeah, as a
point because sorry, real quickly.
Yeah.
Because I remember it struck a chord with me when I actually wrote the article when Dead Space remaster or remake? Remake was announced. That part of what the team wanted to do was consult like fans of the series.
Yeah.
To make sure that when they do this, that they'll do it right. I hope that they will actually take the feedback and run with it. But just reading that, I'm like, yay, you're actually making the attempt to do so.
Well, no, I'm glad
At least pretending.
Yeah, well, no, I'm glad you mentioned that because they the most recent, well, the only dev diary they've done so far, they had like a 45-minute like presentation about what they're doing with the Dead Space remake, and they actually had two actual people who are big streamers on Twitch that had been running Dead Space, and they actually invited them on board and talked to them about things and stuff like that. So yeah, they are taking some people's feedback and stuff like that, and I thought that was really cool. You know me, I'm a Dead Space junkie. You know, like I'm very lagging behind on my Dead Space playthrough right now. But yeah, like I wish I had a better Twitch presence. So you know, I could have been invited to one of those developer diaries and one of those deep dives and stuff like that. But you know what, my time's coming. but ultimately, you know, that's one thing I feel like. The companies that trust the fans more, you know, like, you know, if the companies are saying, hey, we're tired of like FIFA 21 having this and stuff like that, like pay attention to that stuff because like ultimately it's going to hurt your bottom line. Like, you know, like, yeah, like these games might still like, you know, pump out the numbers and stuff like that. But there are declines that I think the companies don't look at, you know, like if it's like a 5% decline from what it was like a year ago, they don't really pay attention to that. They have to wait until like their games don't sell like half their sales goal before they start like, oh, maybe the fans were onto something. But you know, if you're selling less and less units, because I thought in the business world, like you're successful if you have like what is it like a 13+%, you know, over the previous. I know it's in budgeting, you know, like I think it starts at 13% and higher. You know, as far as monetary, but you know, if gaming were to break it down the same way, you know, like if you're selling 15% more units of your sequel than you did of your previous game, then that should be a mark that, you know, like things are going in the right direction. But if you're selling 5% or higher, or 5% or more or less, that should also be an indicator that something's not right or something's not sticking with the fan base. And also, don't be afraid to let a franchise go. Like if it looks like it's dying on the vine, like go ahead and close it off.
Oh my gosh, like, that's like the next point I was gonna make. It's like sometimes it's okay to end a franchise and start a new IP. Yeah, there's risk to it, but like there's also a risk on just ruining what was, you know, well, not to keep using the same word, a great franchise, and I don't know, just. Sorry, my rant was going somewhere and I ran out of steam quickly.
Nah. So how about you guys? Like, what's something you think that the video game industry like should change, or make better? Not even change, like make better.
For me, the first thing that came to my mind is, so obviously I'm a Nintendo fan, and I always have been. And one of the reasons, obviously, they make great games and all of that. But one of the reasons I really love Nintendo is when you buy a Nintendo game and you play it on a Nintendo system, you plug it in, you turn it on, and you start playing the game. You don't have to download an update. You don't have to wait for a patch. You don't have to wait. You just play the game the way the developers intended it, and that just isn't the case for other systems, and it's becoming not the case for Nintendo games either. And I just want, I mean, this isn't a new thought or whatever, but like I would rather wait for a game to release when it is ready to release than to have to, you know, have a broken game like the Grand Theft Auto ports or Cyberpunk, or not even a completely broken game, but like a not perfect game and download a day one patch. Like it used to be, you bought a game and that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
What was on the cartridge, and better or for worse, that's what you get. And you know, it's not like that anymore. And I wish we could go back to that a little bit and not have
Mark,
these.
So many idea.
Did I?
No, it's
Sorry.
I totally agree though. That it's on point.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, even I mean, like when you put in a PlayStation game or an Xbox game, like you can't. If I get a game, a PlayStation or an Xbox game, and I want to play it, I have to decide that I want to play it an hour before I actually want to play it. And being a father of 3 young kids, if I have time to play a game, I've got 15 minutes right now, and that's it. I don't have 15 minutes in an hour from now. I have 15 minutes right now because they happen to be playing nicely outside, and so I've got a quick 15 minutes that I can play something. And so there is nothing more frustrating than when I've got time to play something and then I have to download an update to my controller, or I have to download an update to the game, or I have to install the game, and then you have to download the game and install the game. And so it's just like I just want to play, which is one of the main reasons why I love Nintendo, because I can just plug it in, play it, and then be done in 15 minutes. And those times are becoming so fleeting and rare that I have time to myself that I need to get in and get out, and that's got to be fixed somehow. And I think that the industry is moving that way. I think that there's all this talk about toxic work environments and unrealistic scheduling and what's it called, crunch or whatever it's called. And I think that it's trying to move out of this expectation of a bunch of suits setting a date based on money, which, to be fair, I also get that, right? They're businesses and they have these models and they've got this science and they know when they're going to make the most amount of money and they need to do it. But what we're talking about here is games. So let's get them ready and get them out when they're ready to be out. Let's be realistic about when we think we're going to get them out from the beginning. I'd rather you tell me right now that the next Zelda game is not going to come out for 3 years and then play a fully complete game in 3 years, then you tell me it's going to come out next month and then delay it 5 times, or it's broken when you ship it. So
yeah, I'm completely on board with that though. Like I feel like more. I mean, I know the logistics of why like games get delayed and why stuff happens, things like that. But at the same time, I feel like if companies are more transparent with us about like some things that are going on behind the scenes, they don't have to tell us everything. But
Right.
it took CD Projekt Red like their third delay to turn around and start talking to us about why they were delaying it, stuff like that. But companies just need a little more transparency, of how they deal with us, and they also need to know that we understand, because like at the same, just like how like in our regular everyday lives, like we have projects that wind up late. We understand that, so it shouldn't be a big problem for like other companies to get, for video game companies to get it. Like you don't have to pull the wool over our eyes,
Right.
and give us a terrible game. You don't have to do that.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm completely on board with that thought.
And honestly, there are so many games that are coming out all the time now that I would love a little bit of a break in games that are coming out. So if you want to tell me that, Halo 6 is going to be delayed for another month or two, great. I haven't played Mario Party yet. I haven't played Death's Door. I haven't played, like, there's so many games that I haven't played yet. So great, I'll use that time to play games that I haven't played, and then let's play a fantastic game in 2 months from now when Halo 6 comes out. So that's kind of where I see it. Delays don't bother me whatsoever. I'd rather have a game that works when it comes out than have something come out when I expect it to and it be broken.
Do you guys think, in part, being, corporate, wanting to set dates and not really care, do you also believe it's partly the majority, not all gamers, but sometimes it's gamers' attitudes, like really being very demanding about having the games come out sooner than later? Like, where do you think a lot of that falls?
I think, okay, it's going to sound bad because it basically sounds like I just stepped on what I said earlier at the beginning of this segment. I feel like sometimes, like, us as gamers, we don't understand what we want. we don't understand what we want. And I'm not sure if it's just a whole thing of like we have fatigue from waiting for games and stuff like that. Which is why I'm always getting on a soapbox saying, "Hey, I know you got plenty of shit in your backlog to play. Like don't rush a good game and it turns out being mediocre or bad. But gamers can't help ourselves as gamers sometimes. I mean, um, I guess I also come from an era where, we hear about a game coming out in Japan and it takes 5 years for that game to get to us. So, we have way too much anticipation and things like that. But I think the companies listen to us when we say, "Hey, we want the game now," and don't pay attention to the fact that, "Hey, we want the game now, but we don't want the game to be bullshit when you give it to us." Yeah. So
Yeah, I think it's a vocal minority, which is how it usually is in all things.
yes.
Is that it's a vocal minority, and so you've got the people who are throwing a tantrum and they're throwing it loudly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you take a step back and you look at gamers as a whole, I think we're a pretty rational bunch, right? So but it starts at the beginning. If you're honest and upfront from the beginning, and you say, hey, and you set realistic expectations, and you treat your developers as humans, and you realize that they have to have work-life balance, and so you say this game, with crunch would take a year, but to treat everyone like a human would take 2 years. Well, tell us it's going to take 2 years, and then be the hero and release it in 18 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take the two. Be the hero. Take the win, right? But always, I mean, I work in advertising, and I'm on the account service side of things. So I'm not the creative side, but I'm the side that gets the credit for the creative. But I always come in saying it's going to take longer than it is, and setting realistic expectations so that you can come in and be the hero and say, hey, we said I'm just picking on Halo because it comes out next month, but we said we were going to release it December 8th, but it's ready 2 weeks early. It's releasing today. I mean, that's what happened with the multiplayer when they had the Halo 20th anniversary celebration. They said multiplayer is available now, and that was insane. Nobody was expecting to play that until December 8th, and it's available now. Yeah, there are some glitches and stuff, but that's a win. And I think it came from them saying it won't be available until December 8th, and then turns out it's available a little bit early, so let's release something, right?
I get where you're going with that, but at the same time, I've always feel like it's such a crock when you give us a half-ass game. Like the multiplayer is available, now. And I get the multiplayer. The multiplayer is the least common denominator of what a game is. Like multiplayer is usually just I'm exaggerating here, a handful of maps. With a very controlled environment that people just get in there and just have fun, and just the maps recycle themselves over and over again and stuff like that. I get it. I'm one of those people who was like, you know what, don't BS us and give us multiplayer. Give us the campaign mode, then add multiplayer later. But that's just
but I thought it was a pretty smart strategy too, because if you do, they're able to basically debug a bunch of things in the multiplayer in a very limited scope, and be able to say, okay, the controls are a little bouncy, or motion's a little too fluid, let's kind of tighten this up a little bit, or this is not working, but they don't have to release the entire campaign. And so to me, I thought it was a pretty smart strategy to release multiplayer first, because they're able to use that as research and development, and to make the campaign even better when it does release in a week and a half or whatever it releases.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm on board. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's all.
Sure.
All right. I think, did everybody get a chance to speak on that topic? I think so. I think I need to take better notes for who talks about.
I think you're on mute.
I was on because I changed rooms. I technically didn't go, but
no. If you go ahead, if you got something to add to it, go for it.
I only have half ideas. One is the obvious, so I won't go too much into it because it could be like a whole podcast worth that we've talked about before. But it would be the toxic work environments, especially against women, because just being a female gamer can be kind of tough in itself. But if I were to go with something else, not that that's not important, but again, that just seems like I think anyone who has a decent personality would be upset by that. Would be kind of now. Let me preface this by saying I understand this industry is still a business, but I do have issues sometimes with the ways some publishers get a bit too greedy. Whether it's, LeRon, you help me out. Like, there's a couple times where games, if you purchase on PS4, you actually have to pay.
Yes.
To upgrade to PS.
Yeah, like one of the glaring instances is Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, where like you have this, like it's a $20 upcharge to get the PS5. Well, you gotta spend money. Well, for PS4 gamers, you have to spend the money to get the PS5 edition of it, which is the Director's Cut, and you have to spend an additional cost to get the PS5 enhancements and stuff like that. They tried to do it with Horizon Forbidden West, and people literally like rained down on Sony on that one.
Yeah, so thank you for reminding me, because that's like probably one of the big prime examples I have, because on the flip side, raising the price of new video games from like $60 to $70 just as a whole, I'm okay with that, because it's been a while since games have taken a price hike and inflation and stuff like that. I can just generally live with, because prices in general go up. But like when it comes to small stuff like getting a simple system upgrade to a next gen console, a little bit here, a little bit there, I'm like, again, while y'all a business, like, do you really need to do that? It just really kind of gets me upset. Mm-hmm. Even like, for example, Nintendo, I've been kind of like quiet on this topic because I'm still unsure how I feel about the Nintendo expansion pack, because I think I have both positive and negative opinions about it. Like I believe it's possible to hold both opinions on it. I do feel eventually that price will be worth it, but I just think that maybe right now it's not worth it. I'm like, oh, did you really guys have to just rip us off? I don't know. I don't know.
Nope, you're right.
Whether it's and also remakes or remasters, I know sometimes the prices I feel like can be fair, but I don't know, just there are a lot of factors. And I don't usually play games where you have to like have a bunch of microtransactions, but I particularly avoid them because of that. I don't know,
I was thinking about mentioning the remix versus remaster thing earlier when we started the segment, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to go that route because I feel like it's a very broad area, remakes and remasters, like one simple change to something and it can technically be called a remake. Where at the same time, one small tweak in how it looks and it's just a remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good topic. Thanks for entertaining my topic tonight, guys. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, cool.
I brought a movie topic again.
All right.
Okay, so hopefully I should have asked this before we started the podcast, but did y'all see the trailer, the second trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home?
I've been avoiding it.
No.
You know what? You know what?
No, I mean the second topic.
You know what? Let me go watch it now.
No. That's okay. So I guess my question is, it's more centered around like fan expectations, and so okay. So
wait. I think I know where you're going with this. Is it the Green Goblin's not Willem Dafoe, right?
No, not that.
Okay.
So okay. They released the second trailer for Spider-Man yesterday, before I can't remember, earlier this week, and they had a special fan viewing of the trailer. Now, there's been rumors about this movie, and basically, there's been a ton of stuff that hasn't been officially announced, but everyone knows it's going to happen, right? But until it's officially announced, I guess it's not real. And so then, so there are rumors that the previous Spider-Man are going to be in this next movie, right? Uh-huh. And we've seen one trailer already that showed Alfred Molina returning as Dr. Octopus, Dr. Top Hawk. And then there were hints in that trailer of Green Goblin, and you could kind of hear Willem Dafoe's laughter in that, and there was lightning striking, and so there's Electro, and
That's Electro.
there's sand, and so Sandman, right? So there were hints in the last trailer, and so then there was a lot of speculation about this next trailer that it was going to show all three Spider-Men, right? And there was also rumors that it was going to show other heroes in the thing from a particular Netflix show, and so then on top of that, Marvel goes and announces a fan viewing of the trailer in Los Angeles. With several surprise guests, is what they say. So expectations are sky high for this trailer, right? And the trailer comes out, and y'all haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But my question is centered around fan expectations versus like what is the when is it what is the responsibility of movie makers to deliver on fan expectations, or to kind of tease things but then not deliver on them? And is it okay for fans to be upset if they've hinted at things but then they don't deliver at it? It's kind of just a broader conversation on, and I'm having to adapt on the fly because I haven't seen the trailer, so it's not really fully formed in my head, but kind of just a larger conversation on fan expectations, expectations versus reality, and what is it okay to be? What are your thoughts on, being upset about things not delivering the way that you thought that they would?
So I don't know if it's really going to end up being a hot take or not, but I don't know, maybe I'm just brutal like that. I just feel like fans, viewers, like if they get disappointed because of all the hype and expectations that they said, that's their own damn fault. I'm sorry. Unless like we'll just use Marvel just for example, because you alluded to the Spider-Man trailer. Like unless they are I don't know, if hinting something that might not actually be true, like a bait and switch. Like, unless there's a rare situation where a bait and switch type scenario happens where they're promising something that just didn't happen, which then that would clearly be their fault. I just feel like, you know what? It's the company's job to get people hyped up for something. That's what it is. Like, that's their job. Hype. And yeah, I've definitely been disappointed by several movies, video games because of hype, but I never ever go, it's Nintendo's fault or it's Marvel's fault. It's my own damn fault for being like, this is going to be perfect. But, so that's why I just think that fans they only have themselves to blame.
Our thoughts are one on that one, for real, because I mean, I've built into the hype. I've jumped on the hype train, for a few things and stuff like that, and yeah, I walked out and been like, oh man, I didn't see what I wanted to see, but it was still a good movie, or I didn't get what I wanted out of this game, but I still have fun, stuff like that. It's if the movie company or the producers or whatnot, have generated the hype, they've done their job. They've done their job in that regard. After that, it's all up on us. It's like how I have this conversation about this is such a bad analogy, but I think it works in this situation. You have a kid, they're growing. You have a child, they're growing up and stuff like that. I've always felt like it's the parents' responsibility to teach and like ingrain in them like a level of common sense, before they get out into the world, because like we've seen people who are just like complete idiots. It's like, man, did your parents even like raise you or something, stuff like that, but up to a certain point, like once they get to a certain age, like they should have had all the common sense learning they needed so they can formulate their own common sense off of those lessons, those practices and stuff like that. Same thing goes with the entertainment industry. Give us something, let us get intrigued, let us get hype about it, and then let it go. Let it go. if we as consumers of the entertainment vehicles, do what we're supposed to do, you won't get all this crazy review bombs, on like on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, because somebody just got upset because they showed Angelina Jolie in the trailer and she was only in the movie for 2 minutes, or stuff like that. I don't know why I jumped out in my head like that, but I mean, we are our own worst enemies as consumers. We really are, because what if I've seen movies where, like, the trailer, and yeah, sometimes Hollywood is the blame for it. They'll give us a trailer for something that looks absolutely like one thing, like they give us a trailer for a movie that looks like a complete action fest. So they get all the action junkies out there, and then we sit down in the movie theater and we're like, this is straight drama, or this is a rom-com. How'd this happen? Stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes Hollywood is to blame on that, but a lot of times it's our own damn faults when we get all like upswept in that stuff. Like we have to govern our own expectations and our own hype, and we're not always the best people to do that, which is why we wind up getting like a whole bunch of movies that are the exact same movie as the previous one that came out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times we are our own worst enemy. I do think that, I mean, I agree. It's the studio's job to get people excited about a movie and talking about it and to get butts and seats, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do take issue when they purposely try to say that things are going to happen a certain way and they don't happen that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But there was that when WandaVision was happening, there was that quote from Paul Bettany where he said in the final episode he got to act alongside an actor that he had never acted with before, and so everyone was speculating that it was like Ian McKellen as Magneto, or like some like really amazing cameo, and he was making a joke in that he got to act alongside himself because there was the white Vision and there was him as Vision.
Yep.
And so that was a misinterpreted thing, but that wasn't intentionally. He wasn't intentionally trying to get people to get all hyped up and stuff. He just was being silly, right? So that kind of thing, that's on me. I agree with that. Like I was like, oh yes, we're gonna have like the first X-Men, in the MCU or whatever. But I do take some umbrage in studios deliberately trying to set things up a certain way they think that people want, and then it doesn't really.
It's funny you bring up WandaVision, because I swear to God, when Evan Peters rolled up in there, I was like, oh, this is it. I was like, this is it. This is how we get the X-Men into the MCU. And then I was like, no, what was that guy's name? I forget what that guy's name was.
Ralph Boner.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, man.
Ralph Boner.
Who bears a striking resemblance of Quicksilver.
Right.
The other Quicksilver, I should say. Real quick, who was your favorite Quicksilver? Was it MCU's Quicksilver, or was it X-Men's Quicksilver?
Excellent.
Okay.
Second.
I mean, he had more time to be developed. I mean, the other Quicksilver was never there.
True. I don't know. I'm a fan of the guy that played Kick-Ass. That's all.
Actor-wise, quality of acting-wise, quality of role, the MCU's Quicksilver, I think, was better. But in terms of like awesome scenes and set pieces centered around the, I mean, it doesn't get better.
We had him for what? 3 movies? Evan Peters.
The MCU?
Yeah, no, the X-Men Quicksilver was 3 movies or 2 movies. I remember seeing him I remember for sure he was in 2 movies, but I can't remember if he was in if he was in every movie after Days of Future Past. I think
he had a cameo in Apocalypse.
He did. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it was 3. But I mean, it doesn't get better than Time in a Bottle from Days of Future Past in the kitchen. So.
Yes.
Well, man, as soon as we get off this pod, I'm definitely gonna watch that trailer, and I'm gonna try and see what you're alluding to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the trailer too.
It's a perfectly fine trailer. I think it was a rushed trailer. I think they're in a difficult position. There's also rumors of Sony and Marvel fighting. Sony wanting to tout the legacy films and the legacy actors that are in the movie, and Marvel wanting to be like, no, we need to keep it secret and have people come and experience it first day. And so I think that that's what's happening. And so I think they rushed the trailer, and there's some shots in there. There's a character that looks super CGI'd and it looks really bad. But I mean, it's a perfectly fine trailer. And it made me excited for the movie. It's just my expectations were like astronomically high, because why else would you have a fan event for a trailer and with multiple surprises and whatever, and then it's just like it was just a trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly fine trailer, but the push behind it was a bit much.
Gotta love it when big companies. Well, I don't know if it's true, but can you imagine if the two, Sony and Marvel, were just squabbling over something? I wouldn't say insignificant, but goodness, to know
what stakes does what am I trying to say? Sony has no ground to stand on. They don't produce good Spider-Man films. I mean, like the first three were good films, but my point is they kind of are a mess when it comes to everything else.
Yeah.
And the MCU has this track record of groundbreaking, serialized storytelling. They've got a great Spider-Man in their stories. And so Sony's saying, now we think it should be this way. And Marvel's like, well, multiple billion-dollar franchises say elsewhere, so maybe you should listen to us.
Man, to be a fly on that wall.
Right?
Seriously.
I would just love to see the slap fighting that would just happen in that meeting room.
Yeah.
But this happens a lot again with Hollywood, but also video games. I hate to bring up like a common video game one, but it made me think about when I don't forget if it was at E3, but they were showing what they were thinking, what Wind Waker was going to be.
Oh,
and everyone was expecting.
Oh yeah.
Like a darker, adulty Zelda, and then they got.
I forget what event that was revealed at, where it was showing Link and just Ganon like throwing down in that one dungeon and stuff, and everyone was like, "This is it. This is the next Zelda game." And then we got that. Then we got Toon Link, which I will admit, I was very disappointed by that, but. What I did not realize though is Wind Waker is going to become one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games.
But I blame Nintendo for that. Nintendo set expectations.
Yeah.
And said, here's what you should expect. And then said, hey, we're going to show you the next Zelda game, but didn't give any warning. Hey, this might be different than what we initially showed you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
well,
here's...
That's one example where I do feel like it is more them than the fans, for sure.
Oh, here's another good example of it. Remember when they had that PS3 tech demo that was basically the opening of Final Fantasy VII? Remember that one?
Oh.
Yeah. and basically like it grew such an ugly head that they turned around and they decided to use that footage from that for the Final Fantasy VII. It was was it Crisis Core? It was on PSP. Basically, that game ended with the opening to Final Fantasy VII with the train and stuff, and that's how they tried to slide it off to us, and all it did was piss the fans off even more to the fact that now we actually do have the actual remake for Final Fantasy VII in the works.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do it to ourselves, but at the same time, sometimes the developers give us the ammunition.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Like I said, I'm hitting up that trailer. I'm excited for the trailer regardless, but it makes me now think about kind of how I was feeling after the first trailer / all the things that I'm seeing fans were so excited about prior to the release of this current trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder how that would have affected my thinking if we did not have this conversation now.
Sure. And don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for the movie. I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be really fun. It was not what the hype around it was. It didn't quite deliver.
All right, Stephanie, you're up.
So I kind of wanted to go more towards the end just because I couldn't make up my mind. So I guess I could let you guys pick between the two, because Mark brought up like a movie related one. So what I was going to kind of bring to the table was like also a Marvel and DC discussion. If not everyone watched the Eternals, maybe we could talk about either high level or just our favorite superhero and why. And a video game topic was what I was ranting about before we recorded, and that's just the holiday season is coming up, and we're starting to see not just video game industries becoming greedy, in my opinion, but we're also seeing retailers like Best Buy and Walmart get really greedy by putting just the chance of obtaining a PS5 behind a paywall. So which of the two seems...
I do like the conversation that can be started off the whole like Walmart and Best Buy doing their shenanigans, because this buys into the scalper mentality. Basically it's like their own version of the lottery, which like in a certain way I feel like is already rigged to lose, because guess what? You have people now who buy into this thing, but their chances of getting them aren't that much greater than if they were just regular consumers. Now, they just like Best Buy just pull $200 a year out of somebody, and they still don't get their PS5, or they still won't get their Switch OLED,
Mark, have you heard of this? Yeah.
I heard you all talking about it when I first signed on, but it sounds like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't mind, maybe we'll just do that then. And just real quick about the scalper thing. Like, scalpers, they probably won't care. They'll probably sign up for that, because when they end up selling it on whatever, they'll make that money back.
They'll make the money back.
Yeah.
So I pulled up some articles here just so I can have the data and the accurate information in front of me. So a new restock of the PlayStation 5 transpired at a retail storefront at Best Buy recently. But this latest restock proved to be quite frustrating for many consumers, because it's, in a sense, locking PS5 restock behind a paywall. Basically, the new restock of the PS5 at Best Buy will be only available to those who take part of the Total Tech program. Essentially, this membership costs $200 annually. So imagine having to pay $200 up front for an annual membership just to have, again, a chance at getting a PS5 in their latest restock. Walmart, similarly, with their Walmart Plus, which is $98 per year, and that is the only way people can get a PS5 restock from them. They have to sign up for the $98 Walmart Plus. I see Mark blinking rapidly.
Yeah, I had to process all that. I mean, this is going to make me sound super douchey or whatever, but I was able to get a PlayStation 5 in the first week. Actually, I got two. I got two because I thought one wasn't going to come through.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
And I sold the second one for face value. I did not make a profit off of it. I sold it for exactly what it was worth, just because I wasn't going to make a profit off of that. So the scarce, I believe that they're scarce. I believe they're hard to get. That wasn't my experience, and so I have trouble kind of putting myself in that viewpoint. But from the Walmart and Best Buy perspective, are they limiting the number of people who can have this membership? Like, does it put, I know that it would put you in a smaller pool because you have to be willing to pay the $200 or the $100 to have a thing, but they're not limiting it doesn't increase your chances of getting the PlayStation or an Xbox, right?
Right, because if I understand it well, and I did the lookup on the Best Buy one. If I understand it, basically it's just a program for you to get extra perks for shopping from the company. But to allocate like units of a consumer item, that's absolute bullshit. It is, and yeah, like if people want to come at me in my mentions later on social media that I'm just sounding like one of those guys that's crying about how it's unfair and everything, I got a day one PS5. I got mine on launch. So that's not even the here nor there. But basically, what I'm saying is like this is to use a more like popular analogy. This is like seeing politicians, going out and changing the lines of the districts for how people vote. That's basically what this crap is. It's setting themselves up for something that they know other people can't have. And that's really what it is because okay, Walmart's getting $100 a year from a bunch of people. Best Buy's getting $200 a month, and I looked at Best Buy's perks. They're not all that. Like I looked at those, and plus the fact that it's kind of sketchy on Best Buy's page. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me pull it up, and I'll throw it in the Twitch chat for anyone that's watching right now, so they can take a look at it and see what it's about too. But what I don't like about it is the fact that it tells you on the surface what you're going to get. But at the same time, it doesn't give you any real meat and potatoes for what's actually going to happen for you if you get it. The information's in the Twitch chat right now. But the benefits of the Best Buy Total Tech membership. All right, now remember, this is a $199.99 yearly membership. You're gonna get free Geek Squad tech support, which is available 24/7, 365. In all seriousness, okay. Not counting the 24/7, 365, but most people who buy the Geek Squad program, whenever they buy new items, they get that anyway. That's not a big deal. Up to 24 months total product protection with an active membership, free delivery, and standard installation. If I'm not mistaken, that used to be included when you bought major appliances. If something went over a certain dollar amount, you got the free delivery and installation anyway. VIP access to dedicated phone and chat teams. We gotta pay for that? We gotta pay for your customer service? Access to exclusive Total Tech member prices. That's okay. So that right there, if anyone remembers the Best Buy Powered Up Gamers Club, that's what that used to be. Free 2-day shipping. Most times you buy something off GameStop, off of Best Buy's website, you're usually gonna get the free shipping. Usually, but it looks like now, and I'm not, I'm not sure if COVID has something to do with all this stuff. Things are just getting tight, and everybody's got to watch how they, corporations have to watch how they spend their money and see and find new avenues of making money. That could be it. But an extended 60-day return and exchange window. We have the Best Buy rewards membership where if you spend X amount of money, you wind up getting almost 2 whole months of returns and exchanges, as long as you didn't do something really crazy to the item. And 9 times out of 10, you go to the customer service line and raise a big enough stink about it, they'll take the return anyway. And then everyday savings on repairs, advanced services, and more. That's basically what's lined out on the website. For the Total Tech membership for Best Buy, but what it doesn't break down is what all these discounts and what all these perks really are. Access to exclusive Total Tech member prices. What does that mean? Am I getting a hard number? Am I getting 5% off? Am I getting 20% off? Am I getting 40% off? Or it just a variable needle based on shoot, am I gonna walk in, buy a $3,000 Alienware that's sitting on their shelf and they're gonna give me 3% off? Yeah.
Right.
I can't buy into the vagueness of this. I like a good rewards program as long as it's doing something. And this right here just tells me that they can't guarantee I still get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or a Nintendo Switch OLED or whatever the hell, or an Oculus, the new Oculus. They can't guarantee me that. They can't. Not for $200.
I guess if this would have happened the day that PlayStation 5 came out or the Xbox Series X came out, that would be one thing. Given the fact that these have been so hard to find and people have been trying to find them for over a year and they still can't, and there'll be shortages into next year as well, there's no way from a pure PR perspective that Best Buy can look or Walmart can look good doing this.
The other thing too is, okay,
really good point.
Well, here's one more thing I'm going to say about that. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I didn't mean to cut you off. Here's one more thing I'm going to say about that. Does this guarantee that if I go into the store and put money down on it, that somebody with a bot online is not going to scoop up, my potential purchase?
Right.
Can Walmart guarantee that? Hell, can Target guarantee that? Because Target was the first place I tried to get a PlayStation from.
Yeah.
No, but you're right, Mark. I think a lot of it is timing. It's definitely it's not. It doesn't look good optically.
Yeah,
People are struggling to get this. Like, and again, like LeRon on Crossroads, just talking about the 1 year anniversary of the PS5, and look what's going on. And also just the time of year, like Black Friday, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like people get literally killed, being trampled on at Walmart. Like. People in general are just vicious, competitive.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you, like, okay, so like Thanksgiving is the 25th next week, right? I guarantee you, people are going to be lined up camping out the night that Best Buy closes on the 23rd on Tuesday.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be out there that whole damn day. Well, actually, no, I take that back because they'll be closing on Thursday, so they'll be out there that Wednesday night, the 24th. They'll endure the entire day. Well, then again, because like this is another reason why working retail has killed me for the holidays. Like now, people actually do have to come to work on Thanksgiving.
We have stores open up on Thanksgiving.
Like shit. Like stores are open at like what? I think the earliest I've seen some stores open up is like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
On Thanksgiving.
Like why? Like, I'm sorry, just for Thanksgiving with family or friends. Like, really, do we need to cut into one of the few major holidays that we have? I'm sorry, it plays into this whole like just greed and again, like these companies know that it gets crazy this time of year, so they know they'll spend those $200 because they're desperate to get their nephew, niece, or husband, wife, whatever get them the PS5, even though it's not guaranteed.
Right. Yeah, it's just, I mean, like I said, it'd be one thing if they did this on launch day. It's still icky if they did it on launch day, but less so than now. Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, like, even though I do appreciate the good and occasional rewards program, but I'm also rewards programmed out. Every single company has a rewards program. I have too much, like I lose track. Like I don't know, I'm getting fatigue. And real quick on the GameStop, because you had that Freudian slip of GameStop. I think they do something similar with the pro membership. Well, they'll email because I'm a pro member, like, hey, by the way, we're going to restock soon. But in one defense of GameStop, not that I'm a fan of GameStop, but the one thing I have in defense of them, their annual membership is, I don't even remember, but it's that cheap. Like
it's worth it. Right. It's practically worth it.
Right. I mean, listen, they're businesses and they're trying to make money, and you can't fault a business for trying to make money. That's why they're a business, right? Mm-hmm. But there are ways to do it to make you look as, even if you don't care about people, even if behind closed doors you really just hate people. There are very simple things that you can do to make it look like you care about people. And I mean, look at REI that doesn't do a Black Friday, or doesn't open on Thanksgiving, so that their employees can go and spend the holidays. I bet that collective decision as a company, which probably started as an advertising or PR campaign, not as a business idea, is doing really well for that company, because they're one of the few companies that is saying we prioritize humans and human interaction more than making money. Mm-hmm. Now, they're probably making more money because of that decision, and it probably was a money-based decision, but there are ways to couch things and to hide things behind good PR, and it doesn't take much to give people warm fuzzies about your company, but doing something like this is just capitalizing off of people's feeling of desperation and wanting to have a good holiday and win the holiday, right? For something that's not a guarantee.
And you know, I'm glad you said it like that, because which came first, capitalism or consumerism? What it's like the chicken and the egg here, you know, like,
right.
You know, like here's a good idea about consumerism. Like your fridge is stocked full of food, but you still go out to eat. Like you know, and capitalism, you know, like like capitalism, and we're using a food analogy. Like they're gonna get you they're gonna get you into the seat, with some like sweetheart deal, but you're required to make an additional purchase, at the restaurant.
What do you think will happen to situations like these at Best Buy and Walmart where, let's hope in a year in 2023, maybe not late in 2023, where shortages will finally catch up and there'll be just a regular supply of PS5s and Series X and OLED? Like, how will that be a selling point for them anymore?
They're gonna have to. They're gonna honestly have to make whatever perks and incentives at that point really worthwhile for spending that extra money. Because I mean, it's just like how we argue. It's just like how we argue, I guess. So like how we say, like, a lot of people, like, I couldn't justify, like, this is not me taking a shot at the Nintendo Switch Online, but I couldn't justify paying the $35. The what is it? The $50 and the $80. I couldn't justify paying that when I already have like different memberships going on already. I just couldn't justify it. Same thing applies though. Like, people are going to be spending $100 at Walmart, $200 at Best Buy. Heaven forbid Target have one. Target's probably going to be like smack in the middle, or maybe the more expensive one, because that's how Target rolls. But yeah, like all these perks and incentives are coming out, and then people sit down and realize, hey, like, either I didn't make enough back on it to justify this, or I just didn't use it enough. Why am I getting into it and stuff like that? And then you have people buying out, or people who are canceling after the first year because they got exactly what they wanted. Like, for example, Stephanie, you said earlier, this is great for the first time for people who are moving into a brand new house for that first year. This is great for them, because like they can get all their appliances and their major hardware and everything. Like, Best Buy is like a playground for me. Like, I walk into Best Buy sometimes to not even buy stuff. But I'm always in there. If I'm not looking at like the Google Home stuff or like Philips Hue, I'm in the video game section. I'm not in the video game section. I'm looking at damn televisions, even though I just bought a damn TV. I'm always looking for an Xbox Series X that they never seem to have in there and stuff like that. Or I'm always in the computer section looking at different hard drives and all that stuff. It's a playground to me. So, but like, if I'm gonna spend $200 for their incentive program, I'm going to get the most out of it that I can, because when it comes down to the end of the year and they're like, okay, it's time to renew, I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend $200 more.
Yeah, but you know what? People, they're going to do fine. Just like Nintendo's going to do fine with their Nintendo Switch Online. People are going to pay for it, and people are going to complain about it, but they're going to pay for it because it has Mario and Zelda on it, and people love Mario and Zelda, right? And so Best Buy, people are going to sign up for this because they want a PlayStation 5, and they're going to forget what they're hoping to bank on is people who sign up for it and forget that auto renews every year, so it's an easy $200 for them to make every year. And that middle class group that can afford to lose $200 a year and not pay attention to it is gonna, upper middle class is gonna sign up for this membership and forget about it because they're gonna get their PlayStation and it's gonna auto renew. Oh, okay, I need to remember to cancel that. And so they don't need to do anything else to make this more incentivizing, to make it people want a PlayStation 5, they're gonna sign up for it, and Best Buy's gonna think this is a huge success because people vote with their money, and we're going to pay for it. If you want a PlayStation 5, you're going to pay for it. If you want an Xbox, pay for it. I pay for my Nintendo Switch Online. You can see my Nintendo 64 controller right there.
I want it so badly, but I heard it's not going to get restocked till 2022. How is this the case?
I know. I'm sorry to make you feel bad, but it's amazing. It's so much fun to play on it, and the rumble on it is great. It's so much fun.
See, like, a lot of people crap on that controller, and sure, might not be the best controller, but I miss it, and I can't wait to sit and stuff.
Yes, it felt so good. It is so awkward to hold, but it just felt so good to play those games on that controller once again. It was so much fun.
See, what I appreciate about it is the fact that you guys get absolute nostalgia about it. It's awesome because like I said, even though it's not for me, like, I love the fact that people are getting pure joy off it and stuff like that. All right. Wonderful topics, everybody. that was some good stuff.
Yeah.
I think I think we can go ahead and wrap this segment up because it's getting kind of late, and I know folks got adults. I gotta get ready for the new Star Trek season premiere.
Oh yeah, totally adulting around.
Yeah.
Hey, we find our responsibilities wherever we can. All right, so everyone, that's our show for tonight. As always, we'd like to give a big thanks to you for tuning into the Boss Rush podcast. Thank you, Mark, for being our guest tonight.
We love having you on, Mark. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
I love being on. I want to be on all the time. This is so much fun.
and I love your entertainment topics because I feel like me, Corey, and you, Stephanie, if you don't mind me speaking for you, we always seem to bring like the gaming stuff, but you bring the entertainment stuff, and it's actually refreshing. Like not saying that we can't do it, but we're just gaming nerds,
Sure.
and like we do appreciate.
Me too, but I figure y'all are going to talk about gaming stuff.
Or
It's
am I?
not on
Or
brand
am I
for me
dead?
to not be?
Oh, I'm
to
dead.
not be. Oh, we can hear you. Oh, he can hear us. I'm talking to his headphones clearly.
Something's going on with my headphones. Hold on. There we go.
My last topic and how you talk about ultimately people will pay. Like a lot of your takes are very, like LeRon said, very refreshing. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
well, thanks.
we'll be inviting you back on soon.
Oh hell yeah!
Please
Hell
do.
yeah.
I have fun coming up here.
Don't be a stranger. And you know what? Go ahead and plug yourself, man. Where can our audience find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Boss Rush. I do the entertainment side, and I also do gaming too. But I have a weekly feature right now, movie marathon reviews. I'm going through all of the Spider-Man movies and reviewing them. And this week I'm watching Venom, or Spider-Man adjacent movies too. I just did Into the Spider-Verse last week. And then you can also find me on Twitter, except in Pereira as my Twitter handle. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, Stephanie, you're up.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Klimov, KLIMOV as in Victor _author. And maybe not so much this month, but you can find some of my articles occasionally on bossrush.net.
All right, and as always, you can find me on social media, gaming platforms, as well as my Twitch and YouTube sites. Exodus 803, EXODUS 803. Don't forget Crossroads PlayStation Podcast every Tuesday night, usually between 8 and 8:30 p.m. depending on what's going on or what guests we have on. It's always a good time. PlayStation stuff. And you know what? Do yourself a favor. We're all part of the Boss Rush writing team. Check out some of the stuff that not only we put out on the website, but also check out what our peers and colleagues are doing over there too. There's a ton of editorials and shows from our ever-growing family of creators and contributors out there for your pleasure. So head on up to bossrush.net and check that all out. Don't forget about the Boss Rush Network Discord. If you like to talk about games, media, sports, food, much more, all that stuff, come in, join the Discord.
It's a friendly community.
This has been episode 109 of the Boss Rush Podcast. Be sure to come back and join us next week when we have more interesting stuff to talk about. And Corey, get better soon. We miss you, bro. All right, everyone. That's it for us.
Bye.
That's it for us tonight. Have a good one.